You are watching Well of the Fathers.
Mentions of Christ they carry. But every gathering unto Yeshua must have apostolic foundation, or else the gathering will not be legit. Because the scripture says, and you are built upon the foundations of the apostles and the prophets, not human personality. The foundation of the apostles and the prophets are the things Yeshua taught his disciples. So every sector of gathering of people to Yeshua must be built around that idea. You understand? What was the primary focus of the Ecclesia? The primary focus of the Ecclesia is the headship of Christ in the midst. Real-time, consciously engaged headship of Christ. So when your community meeting starts, you have to pause. There must be somebody responsible for holding the gate for the King of Glory to come in. Though we all can hear Christ, but in the gathering of the Ecclesia, there is an angel messenger. Someone has to be responsible for hearing him, and allowing that angel to express himself in the midst. And the only person that can do that, they are apostles and prophets. When I mean prophet, I'm not talking about prophet, a prophet who is imbued and have drawn into his prophetic ministry, inflamed by his own idea of prophecy. But I'm talking about apostolic prophets who can gather people unto Yeshua. So, are we still in the business of gathering people? Yes. But it is done with a full sight of the real-time understanding of the headship of Christ in the midst. Each time the Lord's people gather, Yeshua is in the midst, real time. Who gives attention to him? Who gives attention to his preference? Or are we going to be like the church that gathers and they lock him up? And he was at the entrance knocking. Say, I stand at the door. We use that for unbelievers. But it was actually addressed to the church, whether assembly or ecclesia. So the mass number of humanity that are yet to be saved, they are out there. There are more people outside the church in quotes that need to encounter Yeshua than in the church. So pastors or leaders must become facilitators. Facilitators will be like, you remember the story of Samson, who went with his friend, to the wedding. That Samson was not coming, and that his friend was even ready to marry the bride. You remember the story? So we leaders must stop enjoying the bride. We must be facilitator. Gathering people, yes. So that's kind of difficult when you have already branded your ministry.
We must be castrated.
Yes, when you have branded,
not to lust after the bride.
You have branded your ministry. That's why church brand is dangerous. Because once you give it a name, it is that name you will be pursuing. And you will look for doctrine to validate that name of abomination. It's a name of abomination. To call anything other than what Yeshua calls it is the name of abomination. Have I given names to things? Yes, I do. I started out as champions for Christ Mission. I have all sorts of names until I got to the place where I realized that name doesn't really matter. Whatever you name it should just be an administrative space from where you can touch society. It's nothing. It's nothing. But to now make that your name as a franchise and sell it to other people
idolize it.
Is the abomination of the greatest order. And whatever name you give it now becomes the prism from which you view Christianity. Is another evil. You know, the early church didn't know that. Yeshua didn't do that. The apostles didn't do that. You know, why should we? You know. So we must gather people. Every house must be a place, must become a light center. Every family. If I know you as a believer and you are not discipling anybody, you know, I'll find you very, very difficult to deal with. Because every true servant of Yeshua is in the place of discipleship, discipling others, not necessarily churches. Because churches disciple people to themselves. It says, go into the world and make people become my disciples.
Not your disciple.
That's the good news version. They say, go into that and make disciples. Anyhow. Make men mine, make them follow me. Teach them how to live in the civilization of Christ. Mm-hmm. Teach them how to become citizens of the kingdom, not members of a church. Mm-hmm. Until we resolve that issue, all our assembly will be, cardboard will be reached on the door. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, it's as serious as that. A cardboard is written on the door. Since the first day you do the launching. Somebody invited me, says they are launching his minister. Sir, do you want to start a bank? And he now told me they need 5 million. As I said it, which of the apostles needed 5 million to start a church? In what generation did we do that? He needs 5 million. He needs 5 million to start a church. The way I was laughing grieved him. He thought I was laughing at his calling. And I said, young man, you don't really need that. You that you have not learned how to do opening prayer, you need 5 million. If you now can preach, you will need 5 billion. And your members will be in trouble. All right. So God bless you guys.
We come to learn judgment. We come to learn righteousness. We come to your counsel. We come to learn of the way of the Lamb. We come to learn of the way of the Lamb. For you are meek and lowly, 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 you are the light of the city, you are the light of the city, you are the glory of the city.